Well, if you're looking to travel internationally, you may want to apply with your passport with some extra time. And hopefully your passport isn't expiring anytime soon. Pandemic-related staffing shortages and a pause of online processing have left a record-breaking 500,000 applications flooding passport agencies each week, according to U.S. officials. Travelers have been scrambling, missing trips, losing out on money, and frustrated by the system with no real end in sight. Joining us now to discuss is travel industry expert Sandra McLemore. So Sandra, the State Department is now recommending applicants apply 6 months before departure. What are your thoughts, and do you agree?
Well, I have to agree, Kelly, because that's how it is right now. There's no way around it, my friend. There's nothing that you can do. Here's the thing, though. There are a lot of things that could have prevented this. Back last year, you were able to renew your passport online. And this was something that worked super well. Over 565,000 people had their passports renewed online. It started off as a test with government employees and contractors, and then it was opened out to the public. And this year, Kelly, in March, without any notice, the State Department shut it off. Now, they said that they're working on a better user experience, but I'd like to think a better user experience is getting your passport.
I think many of us would agree, Sandra. So nearly 2 million more applications are expected to be processed this year than 2019, to your point, which was the previous record year. The Transportation Security Administration also says it processed more flyers last week than on the Sunday after Thanksgiving in 2019, which was also a record. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think some of it has to do with obviously taking the online renewal off, but they really have to staff up. They have to staff up, they've got to train up, and also there's a requirement for many people to actually have to do their appointment for their passport in person. I don't think a lot of people realize that. Mailing your application in is only available for some people. Renewing by mail is only available for some people. So for example, if you're getting a passport for the very first time, an American passport for the first time, or if you're under 16, those have to be done in person. So we're talking about people having to go physically somewhere, getting an appointment somewhere. And that's just not helping at all. The amount of in-person applications that has to be done puts a huge strain on the staff working there and the resources that they have.
Well, I can certainly understand that. And in addition to what's happening with the online being shut down, both will have major implications. But do you believe maybe a sliver of this has to do with so-called revenge travel? And can you explain what that is, Sandra?
Look, revenge travel, not a term I'm that fond of, to be honest. It sounds kind of mean, and travel's not mean by nature. Revenge travel is a term that came around after the pandemic, that it was kind of travelers' way of getting revenge on the pandemic. I'm going back out to travel and to live my life. Those bits I agree with. Yes, we are seeing a lot more people traveling. We're seeing a lot more people traveling to Europe specifically. There's been a huge influx of vacationers in Europe from the US. However, this is not a new thing. There have been surges in travel many years before, when we came out of 9/11, when we came out of volcanic ash situations. Anything that's big that puts a pause on travel, Kelly, there's always a surge afterwards. There are a few things that people can do at home, though, if they don't want to be caught up in this. The first thing, if you have children, even if you don't think that you'll be taking them anywhere, apply for their passport. If you have a passport, I cannot stress this enough, pull it out, take a look at the expiration date, and put a note in your calendar, specifically, Kelly, 7 months out, to remind you that in 1 month, which is 6 months before it expires, you can then apply for a new one. You don't need to wait until it is close to expiring.
That is really great advice. Could save you a lot of headaches and a lot of money as well. So according to NPR, a State Department spokesperson said they are hiring more staff, authorizing overtime, launching a website for online passport renewals. What else, if anything, do you think can be done to combat these passport wait times?
Yeah, I think one of the things, and I just literally right before we came on air, picked up my phone and called in to see what the wait time was like getting through on the phone. And one of the things that I noticed is it's exactly the same number to call in if you have a random question, if you're traveling in more than 6 days, if you're traveling in less than 6 days, if you need an urgent passport, or if you have a life or death emergency. That's kind of rough. It's also, there's only one other number that you can call if you are hard of hearing or have a disability. All those lines, you're lucky if they even ring, let alone pick up. The message that you're getting on all those lines right now is, sorry, call later, or you just get a busy signal. So I think definitely figuring out a better way to serve people, even if you can't get them their passport, but to get them information, because I think it aggravates people even more to get a busy signal.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.